The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay. Welcome, Gerhard, Gina, Simon, and Tony. Okay. Most of you would have seen this a couple of weeks ago. So this is basically a repeat of the introduction. I'm going to be breaking it down into smaller parts. So when you go back to watch these recordings, I'm going to try and keep them to 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. And I'll do part 1, part 2, part 3 so that it's a bit more bite size. So it's designed for you so you can keep going back and looking at particular parts until you get it right, because really seeing it and then applying things is probably one of the best ways to learn. These days, if we want to cook something, we generally just go straight online and watch somebody do it instead of going to a recipe book. So pretty much the same way it's going to work with trading. Okay, so business in a briefcase virtually matches very nicely with currency trading. Currency trading affects the whole world, and basically our world probably couldn't have any sort of commerce if we didn't have currency trading for jobs, import, export, governments, workers, charities. Once you've got people relating to other people that have different their own currencies, you've got a currency market, and it's not simple now anymore. That you trade milk for bread, etc., like the old bartering system. We've got quite a complicated system, and the system we've got is called the PF system, PIAF. Now, before we start, we should go and watch or have a quick look at the disclaimer. Okay, so it's a risk disclosure with pretty much any financial instrument or anything you're going to do with insurances, etc., property. But trading foreign currency on margin carries a high level of risk and may not be suitable to all investors. The high degree of leverage can work against you as well as for you. Okay. Before deciding to trade foreign currency, carefully consider your investment objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. The possibility always exists, whether it's currency trading or business, that you could sustain a loss of some, of all, or even more of your initial investment. Therefore, you should not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Generally, one of the wonderful things about currency trading is whatever you've placed in your account, whether it's 250, 10,000, 50,000, but whatever's in your account is generally what you expose. Your house, your other assets don't come into the picture. How you can lose a little bit more than your initial investment, obviously in closing things, being dynamic, and some of the bank fees and that. These are other things that when they say you may lose a little bit more than your initial investment, sometimes it's just, like ATM fees or things like that, or transfer fees that a bank might apply. In any case, trade only what you won't miss. If you pour your hard-earned money there and just jump in with no plan, it's probably not a good idea. We have lots of tools here, and because the currency market is an established market with banks, hedge funds, and all the big players and corporate involved, there's a lot of statistics and regulation. So in that way, it does make it an effective vehicle for us to leverage and add another additional stream of income, or our main stream of income. Once you learn it, you can do and go wherever you wish. Okay, it doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, the simpler you keep currency trading, the better it is. So that's why most people and most traders would like a system, because they know that the money can only go up or down or go sideways. As long as it moves, money is to be made. Okay. So like anything, the reason it's best to have a system is that you're able to repeat it, because there's steps, and the more you do it, like anything, it becomes automatic and you almost do it intuitively. Okay, so repetition is the bridge to intuition, and for us, the gateway to profitable currency trading. Okay, because you don't sit and procrastinate. It's instinctual and spontaneous. The scope of this online course in 4 weeks is to go and get you to the place where you'll be able to place a trade, identify a high probability trade setup, how to file and record your worksheets and your flow charts and that, so that you can then, and your history, review your trade so you can see how you can improve, can see where what time you're actually logging into place trades. So there's a lot of statistics you can get on yourself once you start filing, and then we can look back and review. Obviously, a lot of you might have already installed your expert advisors and your indicators and templates. So if you haven't, then in the next week or so, when you've watched those tutorial videos, you probably will. Okay, so this is purely introduction, but you will get to the place where, at a very basic but still profitable level, you can safely enter the market. It's all about choice in our trading. Either there's a trade, there's no trade, and we don't accept maybes. So if you set a high standard for yourself, it'll do you well. Just before I go, let me just go back to that. So these are the things that you need. Okay, so if you've got an iPad or laptop, etc., a Mac, and you put it, obviously you got it in a case or in a backpack, this is the other thing you'll need, a hardcover folder, so you can put your printed PDF. Maybe it's laminated, maybe it's not, but inside that hardcover folder there's plastic inserts and sheets that you can insert your sheets in. And once it's laminated or within those protective sheets, you'd be using whiteboard markers, because after you trade, you take a picture of all your decision making and criteria, and you take a picture and file it, so at the end of the week you can remember what you did in that trade, whether it's good or bad, or how can you make it better. Okay, so we don't need to have a lot of paperwork, and because we've got iPhones and smartphones and that, it's already got a camera in it, and we take a picture, and then at the end of the week we can load it into a folder on our laptop or PC and file it in whatever month that we're trading. So currently this is August and September is about to happen, so we may have a folder inside on your desktop for that. Inside that dark folder you can print out some charts, and I'll give you some charts. These are the previous ones, and these are the ones that are on your ebook. What you guys, or you participants, are getting is our upgraded trading system, which is much simpler, less moving parts, and for us it leads us to what we call the closest thing to a Holy Grail system. Okay, so what you're learning is going to be a foundation that down the track, if you want to proceed, you can go and actually go down that route. Okay, these are just an example of some of the worksheets. So most of us perform better when we have strict instructions giving us and asking us questions, and we're answering and we're getting involved. We don't really want to sit there twiddling our thumbs not knowing what to do. So that's having worksheets is a very good plus for any sort of system and process. So as you can see, whether it's your laptop, your worksheet, and the worksheet will ask questions that you can see straight off the computer screen on there. Window 1, window 2. We'll go through that tomorrow night in how the system works. And there's just an outline. This is for some of the more advanced students that do weekly and monthly entries and daily entries. For this course, we're only going to be doing the hour time frame. Okay, because there's multiple times that you can go into the market, whether it's 1 minute, daily or weekly. So there's lots of choices, so you can fit into whatever time you have, whether you can do it full time, whether you can do it at night after work. For most of us, we're so used to having things and getting it yesterday and the speed of technology. So when we see something like currency trading, it's interesting, and we hear stories about how it can make millions, and the currency market's $4.5 trillion. So that means each day $4.5 trillion finds a home. That means the money's traveling at $286,000 per second. So if I speak a couple of sentences, there's probably $1 million that's found a home. So this slide is a new ebook. So I won't go too much and repeat it, as you can read it. And when you watch it on the recording, you can actually read it. But virtually, once you become an efficient and consistent trader, there's no more increased workload for you to increase your income. All you do is increase the size of the trades that you're trading. Okay, and you'll understand this more as we go along. So what we need to do, because we are going to go into a business that defies all the things we've been taught and conditioned at school to believe, that we have to work hard for 40 years and be a slave, suddenly we come to something that we may only trade 1 or 2 or 3 hours a week and still make significant income. It's something that you learn and can invest in your own knowledge and skill, and nobody can take it away from you, and you can truly travel anywhere and do it. Okay, so hopefully in the 4 weeks we'll go through some things and some stories and that'll help get rid of some of your habits and traditions, some of your beliefs about money. It's not the root of all evil. Well, we're going to be doing something that's easy enough that pretty much even dogs can be taught to operate a ATM, and they've actually certainly trialed chimpanzees trading, and a chimpanzee they've tested can actually trade and be quite profitable, so it's not hard. What we need to do is just eliminate all the drama in our life and the messes and confusion and focus when we're trading. So this is more just a little bit of psychology, and your mindset's probably going to play the biggest part in trading, because the system is easy. Currency can only go up, down or sideways. So if you knew nothing, you had a 50-50 chance of making money. Okay, so our job is basically to teach you how to take some of the profit that normally a bank takes and direct it to your bank account. And if Ned Kelly knew about Forex trading, he wouldn't have to go and carry around a gun and a helmet. So $4.5 trillion a day, it's the biggest market, definitely one of the biggest markets, if not in the world. It's $4.5 trillion a day. The New York Stock Exchange averages $20 billion a day. So you think of the currency market, it's 4.5 trillion. So it's a lot bigger than the New York stock market. And really, all we need to do And obviously, we've got to be able to dream, because if you can't dream that you can have a better life and improve the position you're in, and it's too good to be true, then you've already made the decision that you can't do it. So one of the things I got asked when I first started trading was, or told, that if I believed trading could be easy, it will be easy. If I chose it to be and think it was hard, it was going to be hard. I chose easy, and 7 years later, I still feel that it's very easy. Okay, 10 to 50 pips a day plus consistency will give you whatever money you require. Obviously, you need to get consistency and work out what time you've got available and that, and maybe you need to transist between what you're doing now to a stage where you can either have greater skill and replace your income with just currency trading, or just have it part. But while we're here, 10 pips to 50 pips. 10 pips is 1/10 of a US cent, 1/10. 50 pips is half a cent, or half 0.5 of a US cent. Okay, so it doesn't need a currency to move too much for you to actually make money. Once again, pips and that are in your book and in your glossary, and we'll talk about it a little bit more later. And once again, this is in your ebook. It just says what a pips stands for. It's a price index point. So, because if you've got all currencies, and you've got US dollars and your British pound, and you've got drachmas, or did have drachmas, kronas, francs, etc., you've got to have a default currency, and the US dollar is the default currency, and the US cent is what is divided. They divide a US cent by 100, and that is 1 pip is 1/100th of a US cent, and that standardizes and allows currency trading to have an arbitrary value. Okay, some of the basic rules, and once again, there's no news trading, and we'll talk about this in subsequent webinars. No hedging. We always apply a stop level and a limit, and pre-lot set lot sizes. These are the things we're going to be going through. Okay, and these things, they're common sense, happens. When you sit in front of a computer for a long time looking at the screen, you are going to fall asleep. And a lot of us, when we're trading, we might have just had a fight or whatever argument, or if we're seeing movement happen quick, we will get emotional. These are things you're going to experience. Okay, distractions. You only need this to happen once while you're trading, and the phone goes off, and you think you should have put it on silent or switched it off, and it's interrupted you just at the point where you're about to enter, and it'll cost you money. It will happen once and it won't happen again. And generally, once we've placed a trade and we've taken profit, we do need to walk away before we come back, because while we've just made a profit, it puts us in a state of euphoria, and we feel bulletproof. Our emotion comes there, and it's not really the best time to go and actually enter another trade. And most people will probably go 2 or 3 times and end up giving whatever profit they have. Okay, so that's why, once again, a system in place, and the discipline and patience, because the trade will come to you and you will make money. And unlike a lot of things, a lot of us are told we only get a lifetime opportunity once in a lifetime. Well, that's not true. And in currency trading, you have opportunities coming around like buses. But if you keep worrying about the one that you miss, you're going to get run over by the one that's coming. Okay, so forget about the one that you missed. Just watch for the next one. Once again, just to reiterate, when you're trading, never trade without stop loss and take profit. It's in the book, but we'll be going through this in the system. Our system is designed that once you press it, that a stop loss and take profit order is actually initiated at the same time as the order goes in with the charting software that you'll be using. Okay, we're going to be winding up part 1 in a couple of minutes, and you can go make yourself a cup of tea or toilet break, and I'll come back at 6:30 and we'll go through and finish the rest of the slideshow, and then you'll be able to ask me questions, and see how time permits. We'll go and have a look at the MT4 platform. Okay, so we'll close this one at this. Okay, so if we didn't have a system, we'll be going through emotional stages. Okay, so a lot of people don't realize, but when they're trading, they're impatient, and then they're hoping, praying that there's a trade, and then if there is a trade or they see something moving, they're motivated to enter and they feel confident, etc. But once you let emotion into your trading, you can't repeat it, and with every one of those emotions, there's an opposite emotion. Okay, so what we would like to do with trading is to follow a system and interact using an equity manager and a worksheet to tick it off, so we can busy and occupied, so by the time the criteria is met, we've entered the trade, and before you know, we've taken profit. And then the trade, we feel good, but all that's happened before you've got emotional. Okay, so this is just to highlight that side. Okay, so we'll end this now, and you have the link for the next part. So I'll see you in 6:30. Okay, so